What is going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, I would normally say episode, however we're going to be starting something different. My Audi TT Quattro Sport, this car I've had for around about 6 or 7 years now, and for the last 4 years, you guys know this, it has been neglected. It's sat on the drive, rotted away, there's gardens growing on it, there's spiders that have lived through multiple generations. When I first took this car off the road, I said to myself, I will one day fully restore this car. Today is going to be basically introducing the new series that is going to be happening on the POV channel. I'll explain a little bit more in a minute. I know it's a lot of information, but just stick with me. In this video, I'm going to go through every single thing that this car needs to get it just... yeah, boy. Now, I'm actually going to be going through sort of the majority of the things that I have on this car. I have a list. Let me get the list. So, this is the list. This is, it doesn't look that big, but trust me, there's some big jobs on here. So I'm going to go through this list now. I'm actually going to leave this list as well in the description, so you guys can go over and actually go look through the list yourselves. It's very windy today. I also want to mention as well, when this car actually left the road and I retired it and took it off the MOT and tax and insurance and all that sort of stuff, I made a promise to myself that I'd actually one day rejuvenate this and sort this out, because if you guys didn't know, early on in my channel I struggled a lot with mental health, and this was one of the aspects that helped me be able to make it through it and actually be here today. So I actually owe this car wow, okay. So yeah, I actually owe this car a lot. It's, yeah, I made a promise to it and I need to keep it. First thing on this car is the underside. So when this car was MOT, we actually had the chance to be able to go and look at the car while it was being MOT'd, and I just wasn't happy with like the underside of the car. I was assured it was only surface rust, but seeing rust, it just doesn't really instill confidence in me, and I want to be able to take this car around like Nürburgring and take it abroad and take it through Europe and stuff like that, because I owe this car a lot. And if you guys know from the previous videos, like, I went through a lot with mental health and stuff like that, and one of the reasons why I'm still here today is this car. So I kind of owe it a lot, and the last thing I want to do is sort of just like have it okay. I want to be able to make sure that this car is going to be mint, I guess you could say, but I still would obviously drive it. And now on the underside, I could probably show you actually. So it's just a bit crusty. Now the suspension on this is actually a fairly good brand. So KW V3 coilovers on this. I think the guy paid like £1,700 when they were first put on this car. However, it's been a long time, they've started to leak, it's not great, and I know they do a rebuild scheme, so that's something as well obviously I'm going to have to look at, because let me see if I can try and show you guys. Yeah, you can just see there, they're a little bit crispy. What the hell is even that? Remaining on the theme of the outside of the car, ignore this, we'll talk about this in a second. So I'm going to go to the engine bay. See, in real life this doesn't look too bad, however on camera it looks shit. So I want to fix a lot of this, because for me personally, it just doesn't look great. It just looks untidy. It looks like a lot of things can be simplified. A lot of things need repainting. It's just like this here as well. The nuts don't even have washers underneath, and it just looks shit. Obviously this as well, this is actually from the install that we did on the map sensor for the new dash, which is another video I've got to make. There is a lot of like rust on the Jubilee clips. I know it's just Jubilee clips, but again, it could be better. It needs to be better. I need to do something with these. Obviously these have been painted in black. I think these are aftermarket, well I say aftermarket, they've been painted. Let me know guys, what colour do you think these should go? My idea was like a black with, and then like have this sort of like polished on top, and then maybe have like the number of this engraved in there or something, and then maybe have this wrinkled black. I don't know, is that too hot boy? Not too sure. Now further sticking to the outside of the car are these headlights. they're gross. The Quattro Sport actually comes with the grey inserts, however I just feel as though they don't look great. I think these need to be like a black, so again that's going to be a video of us stripping it down and changing them to black, which I feel will look a lot better. There is as well these DRLs that you can use, so you can get clear markers and put daytime running lights as well in here, which is a mod I definitely want to do. It's something that myself and my dad are going to work on, and we're going to try and work out a kit as well that could potentially be used. And whilst we still are around the lights, we need to talk about the grills as well. Now these grills are not too bad sort of like from a distance, however they do have a quite considerable amount of stone chips. So this needs painting, this needs painting, this needs painting, and also this one as well. That's another thing we've got to do. And then if we move around the back, the honeycomb at the back, which is nice, but we have this weird hole here that's been cut out. I don't really know what this is for, if you just put your card there, or I don't know. You know, when I'm actually sort of going through everything, I'm sort of realizing how much there is to do on this car. It's not a bad thing, it's just a lot of work. Now, one more thing before we actually move to the interior of the car, and that is these. So I'm talking about the brakes. The brakes on this car are very old. They actually needed doing before I took the car off the road. So with them being sat for 4 years and rained on, you could imagine how knackered they are now. And I've sort of just jumped back in the car, and there's only been a couple of things wrong with the car since. But I need to sort the brakes out. So as mentioned, these brakes are really old and they need to get redone. I know that a lot of people watching this actually do have Mark 1 TTs, so they will be able to tell me what is the best brake setup when it comes to pads and obviously the discs. What do people run on this? How many problems have you had? What is the best idea to go for? And let us know, like, what is a good combination to have, because like I said, I need new brakes. When I brake, it like the car, like the whole car vibrates. It feels like it's gonna explode. So moving on into the interior, before we even open the door, we can see this. This was actually coming apart before I parked the car, before it was stuck off the road. But yeah, it's got a lot worse. So obviously that needs to get sorted. I don't think the other side is actually too bad. I think it's okay. Moving on into the interior. So this interior, as you would have seen in a previous video, we had like mold like all down here, mold over the other side, mold on the seat belts, mold all over the seats. It just wasn't great, and I still have not had a full sort of interior clean in this car just yet. We will do one eventually with Ryan. We also have like this damage here, which is from obviously getting in and out of the car all the time, and we have this scratch. So I remember exactly when this scratch happened, and I wasn't too happy when it happened, and I'm not too happy now that it is still there. So these seats definitely need to get sorted. I don't want to actually re-leather these. I want to be able to see if I can try and save them, because I feel as though once you re-trim something, it kind of loses its essence a little bit. I think it'd be quite cool as well, because there is a couple of people that may suffer from sort of like wear marks like this on other forms of leather, like other leather cars, so it'd be quite a good video for the channel. So interior, and not a lot needs to be done in there apart from sort of the seats as I've mentioned, and obviously a good clean. These speakers, I know it says Bose, but the speakers in this car are, a lack of a better word, shit. So I want to be able to upgrade these speakers. There isn't a great deal as well online to be able to what to do to these speakers. Once we're replacing the speakers, it'll be nice as well to get like a subwoofer in here. Like, I'm a big fan of music, and it's difficult to be able to enjoy a good song in this car without it absolutely bumping. That's so cringe. I don't know why I said that. I think the final thing with the interior is definitely the AC. Now the AC does not work in this car, and I went to go and have it refilled like many years ago, and they actually said that there's something wrong with the system. So with the AC, obviously I'm gonna have to dive into that and actually find out what is wrong with it, because I have no idea. It could be the compressor, it could be the condenser, like, I literally don't know. I want to be able to drive this car in the sun because I want to enjoy it in the sun. It's a nice car. It's just so fucking hot in here, man. That's it, boys and girls. As I mentioned, there is a lot to do on this car, and there was only a few things that I have actually mentioned from the book itself. All the things will be in the description, where I sort of add to this list periodically, because as I mentioned, the list just seems to be ever expanding. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Josh. Oh, doesn't she look good, boys? Wow. Wow. I've been Josh. This has been my TT, and that was our POV. Peace out, guys.